Hi, it's Cathy Calhoun with Keller Williams Capital Realty, and this is part 3 of the interview that we're doing for Iron Sights Training Center. And again, this is Carrie Baker, the owner-operator, and we are standing in where they do the simulations, and it's a very interesting room, and you were high quality. You were telling me some stuff about the simulator. So would you like to sort of inform everybody about what you chose?
Yeah. So the simulation system that we're using here is called Milo Pro. It is considered the world's best simulation shooting system that can be used by either the military, law enforcement, private security, or for recreational shooting, for sport shooters. The system uses a combination of live videos or computer graphic videos. We can replicate indoor shooting range configuration and outdoor shooting range configuration. We use simulation firearms only that fire infrared beams of light. We use what we call CERT police training guns that are your basic training guns that provide no recoil, but help whoever it is that's taking the training reinforce some of the principles of good shooting skills.
So it would have the weight and everything of a real firearm.
Absolutely, yeah. And then in addition to that, we have real firearms that have been rendered inert in the sense that we've removed the live barrels. They have infrared barrels put in them, and they use a compressed air cartridge, as you can see right here.
Some jump.
That uses compressed air to make the firearm actually work on the simulation system.
Wow.
All very safe, to be honest with you, state of the art. It is actually the system that is used by the FBI, the CIA, the Secret Service, ATF, DEA down in the States. There's systems all around the world being used by counterterrorism units, special police units, and other big police organizations. It is hands down the world's best indoor simulation shooting system.
So you spared no cost there. You made sure you got the very best.
Absolutely.
So what kind of professionals would be coming in to train here? Like what kind of fields would they be in?
So we primarily, all law enforcement organization, whether it be the regular police officer that is walking the streets or driving around in the police cruisers, right up to what the Americans call the SWAT teams, or here in Canada we call the emergency response teams. We can cater to all sorts of different law enforcement organizations, private security companies, as well as specialized military units is who we cater to. We primarily focus obviously on those from within Atlantic Canada, and currently we have different organizations from Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick that come and use the facility.
Now you were telling me too, I believe, that there isn't anything like this anywhere in Atlantic Canada? Is that
That's
what you?
Correct.
Yeah? We
are the only indoor simulation shooting range of its kind in Atlantic Canada, and quite honestly, we are the only business that is set up that can cater to both military law enforcement, private security, and civilian firearms training in all of Canada.
Okay, so you offer firearms training as well?
Absolutely.
All right.
So in addition to law enforcement, military, and private security, which is predominantly done during the days from 8 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday to Fridays, the range, the facility is open to civilians every evening of the week. To include, as you heard, on Tuesdays and Thursday nights is when our civilian Wild Geese Shooting Club club members meet, as well as on the weekends.
Okay, and so for the recreational part, you have some videos that are popular games that you run here. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. We like to tell people, especially on the civilian side, whether you have a firearms license or not, there's really two aspects to the simulation system. The first is you want to become a more proficient and safer recreational shooter. This is the place to come because the cost is minimal in that you're not having to waste a lot of money on real bullets. So you get good here, and then you go to an outdoor range, and by then you should be a really good shooter. For the entertainment side, We like to call this basically, it's Xbox One X on steroids.
Okay.
I don't want to steal the term Xbox, but that's how we explain it. It is the ultimate first-person shooter type game. And as you can see right here, when it comes to the simulation firearms, simulation machine guns, simulation handguns, simulation carbines, we entertain quite a few groups that come in here. Just want to have a zombie apocalypse night or a Call of Duty night, come in and have some fun. It is the ultimate first-person Xbox, PlayStation gaming system that's out there.
Now, this vehicle standing behind us is kind of interesting as well, and we'll get a photograph of that. But maybe you can tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah. So the Humvee, it's an actual U.S. Army Humvee that I bought 2 years ago. It's road worthy, it's registered, it drives, it works. But we bought that as a training vehicle for two reasons. One, it reinforces to the law enforcement and the military organizations that you can actually use your vehicles in the hangar here while you're conducting training on the simulation range. The second part is obviously when we have parties that come in to do the zombie apocalypse or the Call of Duty, we can take down the stalls, we can recreate the actual environment so that you feel like you're actually in a zombie apocalypse or you're playing Call of Duty. And the Humvee is part of that. We can park that right in front of the screen, and at any given time, one lucky guest gets to stand in the turret and fire the simulated machine gun on the simulation system. Wow. It's a huge draw.
Yeah, I can well imagine that it would be. And I'm sure that, you know, as word continues to get out there, because you're a fairly new company, as word continues to get out, you're going to be very, very busy. And you've got plans for an expansion as well.
We do. As I said, this is phase one. Phase one is the simulation range with the tactical pro shop. Phase two, which is going to be opening up in the spring, is our outdoor live fire training range, located 10 minutes away from Hanwell in the Mazerall settlement area. The intent there is it's a private training range. It's not a civilian gun club. But people without their firearms license or even with their firearms license, if they want to go out and experience what it's like to fire a real firearm, they can come to us and we will take them to our range and conduct it in a safe and controlled manner. They fire our firearms, they use our ammunition, so that they can actually experience, you know, but a lot of people spend money on going to Las Vegas to experience.
Well,
we're going to be basically doing it here.
You'll be doing it
so
here.
Phase two is that live fire piece. Again, during the weekdays, it's primarily the outdoor range is going to be for the police and private security and military units that want to use it. And then evenings and weekends, it will be open to the public by booking. And then phase three, which is fairly ambitious, but we're working on it right now. We're hoping that by this time next year, on this location, we'll have containerized indoor shooting ranges added to the side of the building, which will also have the exact same simulation system.
So, but they would be using live ammunition?
And they will be using live ammunition. So the intent here is that somebody that wants to learn how to safely operate and shoot any sort of firearm can come in here, do simulation training first with us so that we can work out all the kinks, make sure that everybody is very safe, knowledgeable, handles the firearm properly so that they're not a danger to themselves, but more importantly, not to the people around them.
That's right.
On the simulation range, and then they can either come with us later on to our outdoor range, or when the weather is terrible like it is today and snowing, we'll have an indoor facility that can be used for training and recreation as well.
This is an amazing concept. So, Carrie, is there anything else that you would like the public to know?
Only that what we're trying to do here is promote very safe and control gun handling skills. A lot of people don't realize that recreational shooting is actually one of the biggest up and coming sports in Canada. It's a huge industry down in the States. And despite some of the negative publicity it gets because of the events that happen from time to time, especially down in the States, recreational shooting is a very, very safe sport. Law-abiding citizens that just want to have fun, we are there to provide the safe and controlled environment so that they can either do that in a simulated environment or with phase 2 and phase 3 and in what we call a live fire environment.
Okay. And Carrie, would you mind telling us some of your qualifications to be operating something like this?
Absolutely. As my background is, I was in the Army for 25 years. I spent the last 8 years or so with our Canadian Special Forces organization, working in Ottawa or over in Europe with NATO Special Forces. I retired in 2009 as a major. For the 9 years following that, I was hired by a private military contracting company down in the States. Spent the next 9 years traveling the world, primarily in Europe, the Middle East, Africa, places like that, instructing, and decided when I turned 50 that I had enough of traveling, but I still wanted to be involved in providing training to people that are either using a firearm for their job, the military, law enforcement, or private security, or helping those that just want to enjoy the sport of shooting. I didn't know what else to do with myself. Believe it or not, I have a degree in civil engineering from the Technical University of Nova Scotia, but I've never used that degree a day in my life. This is all I know, this is all I want to do, and so this is why I set up this business.
And it's comforting, I'm sure, to a lot of people that you know what you're talking about. This isn't something that somebody's just decided to open up. It's something that's run by a professional.
Absolutely.
And that's wonderful. Can you give us your location so people can find you?
Absolutely. So we're located at 22 Casewood Drive in Hanwell, New Brunswick. We're right in behind our favorite restaurant, Porter's Diner. And although we're just a little bit off the beaten path, we're in a great little location here in Hanwell.
Yes, absolutely. And you also said for people to check your hours, you have a Facebook page.
Absolutely. So if you want to start following us, our hours vary, but you'll find all that on Iron Sights NB. All one word, Iron Sights NB. It's a very popular Facebook page that's gaining a lot of support and a lot of followers. We've tied that to Instagram as well, but our hours are always on Facebook.
Excellent.
We are open 7 days a week.
Wonderful. Thank you, Carrie,
Okay.
for the interview. I've learned a lot.
Okay.
And so, yes, you absolutely need to check this out. It's an amazing spot. So have a good day, everyone.
Thanks. Thank you.